Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining me today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Today, I am going to do something totally different. I'm going to review the scripted show Kingdom Business. It was produced by Kurt Franklin, Devon Franklin, and Holly Carter. And it is starring Yolanda Adams, who I love so dearly. So based on their merit, I am going to review Kingdom Business. If you have not seen it, then turn off this video and go watch the show so that you can come and be a part of the conversation. But you come back now, you hear? All right, so this show is, I think, for the Christian community. It's about a gospel artist and her rise and possibly fall, don't know yet, to the top. They say it's like an empire. So if you've seen Empire, which I did not watch, then it is similar to Empire, but has a gospel twist to it. How I am watching it is I have Amazon Prime, and with that comes Prime Movies. So I went and subscribed to BET Plus. It gave me a 30-day free trial, and if I plan to keep it after the 30 days, it's only $9.99. So you can go and watch it on BET Plus. I got to it through Amazon Prime. I don't know other ways to get to it, but with that, we're gonna get into it. If you have not seen it or you don't like spoilers, then stop the video and go watch it, because we are gonna be doing a review of episode 1.
Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by Bynum's Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video.
The scene opens up with Denita Hordan. It looks like she's doing like a tribute concert, and it looks like it's being held like at her church, where they are celebrating her accomplishments. She is called the Queen of Gospel Music. She is singing Jesus Will Work It Out, and really upbeat, lively tone. Look like everybody's really getting into it. In the next scene, we see Chardonnay. That is her stripper name, but her real name is Rbel. And we see her dancing on the poles, doing her thing. It is rated X, so I hope that I can get through some of the scenes, because I try to be very careful with what my eyes can see. But she is a stripper. They are not holding back. They are literally having the scene play out. We then see her talking to her boyfriend, Zion. He is the DJ in the club where she works. So they have a little interaction about what's going to happen when they get home. Nothing salacious, just simple talk. I think it's just put there to let us know that they are dating and they're a couple, and possibly that they live together. And then we see her friend, Danny. So Danny is Rebel's best friend, and she also works in the strip club. And she is going down the stairs. You could tell she's very frustrated, and she is complaining about the owner of the strip club, and his name is Dex. So Rbel kind of tries to follow after her or see what's wrong, but she got her own thing going with a client, so she keeps it moving ahead. Once the scene is over and they have an opportunity to talk at the end of the night, Danny expresses that she was talked to by Dex because somebody said she had an attitude, but she says she makes up for that with her performances. But you can tell that Danny is kind of like really ready to throw in the towel, kind of give it up and kind of do something different. But Rbel is set on, we're doing good for ourselves. We got a job, we're making money, we can buy our own things. We're doing really well. They then flash back to Denita at her concert, and her husband is kind of giving her a tribute, and he lets us know a little more about their background. So she is the biggest selling gospel artist in the world. They have 2 children. One of them her name is CJ, and she must be married because her name is like CJ Jordan Walker or something like that. And she is the minister of music at their church when their church is called First Kingdom. And then they have a son, and his name is Taj, and he is the over A&R at Kingdom Records, which is their record label that they have associated something with the church. It looks like it's a family business, not associated with the church, but supports the church heavily financially with the money that they make from Kingdom Records. It feeds into the church, which is First Kingdom Church. It's very odd because Larry Reid, who actually has a YouTube channel, he is in the audience and he is playing himself. And they are making him out to be like, what is he doing here? He's always looking for a story, kind of looking for the gossip, kind of like the gossip columnist of the Christian world. So I'm not sure if that's really what he does on his channel. I've watched it a couple of times on some very specific issues. So I don't know if that is just like what his reputation is, but it seemed a little bit odd to me that they had Larry Reid playing himself and they kind of touted him out to be, in my opinion, a little messy. So Larry Reid, do you spill the gospel tea? I don't know, might have to check out your channel and see who you really are in terms of what type of things you report on. So let me know in the comment section if you know about Larry Reid or if he has the gossip tea in the gospel world. I'm not sure. Also in this scene, they let us know that Denita, she has her best-selling album was her first album, and it is called One Moment from Glory. And it was produced just before she married Calvin. She says that she gets her songs because God speaks to her in dreams, and she will know when it is over, when he stops giving her inspiration. She is trying to write a new album, and she wants to be inspired by her dreams in order to get the soundtracks for the upcoming album. Her first song, which is One Moment from Glory, it's like a legend. So you can tell just from the audience talk, she's gonna sing her song. It's called One Moment from Glory. And people in the audience, even the younger people, are like, oh my God, here it comes, that's a legend. One of the persons in the audience who makes a comment about it is Essence. And Essence is a pop star, and she is Taj's girlfriend. My question to you is, do you think that people should be unequally yoked? Because it is very evident in this particular episode that Taj and Essence are unequally yoked. So what do you think about that from a spiritual perspective? Are you in a relationship where you are unequally yoked? And what do you think that we should do about that as Christians? Let's talk about it in the comments section below. The song One Moment in Glory, it talks about not giving up your 1 minute from glory, and it's too late to give up now. And I thought that there was a really beautiful song, a message that we could have for ourselves. So whatever you're doing, you could be 1 minute from glory. It is not time to give up now. Just keep it moving. So I love when artistry kind of gets into the real life. I think that the songs on this movie was produced by Kurt Franklin. So I love the lyrics because they do speak to what's going on either in a person's life or what's going on in the scene. So don't give up now. I hope they do a soundtrack. I think it would be wonderful. I'm not sure if Empire did a soundtrack, but I know they had a lot of great songs on that show as well. Danny and Rbel are about to get off work, and Danny lets Rbel know that she received a text from her mom, and Danny's mom is a member of First Kingdom Church, and her mom lets her know that she is praying for her and that the ladies at the church are praying for her and they're praying that she turns over a different occupation and gets out of the stripping business. So her and Rbel are kind of talking about that. You can tell Danny wants a better life. She wants to do something different. She's tired of stripping. In the ride home, which looks like something like an Uber, they're riding in an Uber, they're singing, they're recording themselves, just having a really good time. So Danny says that she is the lyricist, so she writes the music, and that Rbel can sing the music, and that they should really not give up on their dreams. And they kind of make a pact that they are not going to give up on their career dreams, where Rbel says, we're 1 in a million. If that was that easy, every stripper would do it. But Danny really believes they have great talent and that they should get back into doing that to see where it can go. The Uber arrives and it takes Danny home first. So Danny kind of gets out the car, say their goodbyes, like normal. And soon as the Uber pulls off, Rbel can see that a car pulled up to the curb where Danny was standing. So she kind of stops, has the driver stop, kind of looking, watching, because you can tell there's kind of like an interaction. You can tell possibly that Danny knows the person because she kind of goes to the car, she kind of leans down, and she makes a gesture like, I can't believe you're threatening me. And Rebel's leaning out of the window, and she's kind of trying to listen to what's going on. It's very dark because it's night, and the person in the car shoots Danny in the chest. That was so unexpected. So of course Rbel runs to her side, the car pulls out. It's really dark, so Rbel really can't see much, but of course she's really focused on trying to help her friend. She had already told the Uber driver to call the police. And when the next scene we see Denita and her husband, Calvin Jordan. They're getting home from the tribute to Denita and just kind of talking about the night. And this is where we learned that Essence may not be Denita's favorite person because she doesn't know why she was there, why Taj was with her. And she's looking online, still trying to figure out what Larry Reed was doing at this event. And her question to her husband is, he's always looking for a scandal. So is there a scandal anywhere in our midst for him to find? And Calvin says, no, there is no scandal here. You could tell there must have been some scandals going on before because she says, I've cleaned them up before. So I don't know what that means, but she's cleaned them up before. But he assures her that there is no scandal. They also introduced another character named Caesar. So Caesar was in the audience as well. And that really rubbed Denita the wrong way. He kind of somebody who gets under her skin. And it sounds like he is a Rbel producing company, which we're going to find out later, that he is a gospel recording artist as well. And he has a company called Redeeming Records. So she really sees him as competition. So she's not sure why he was there watching her tribute. The pastor gets a call from Danny's parents because they are members of the church and ask him to come to the hospital to pray for Danny, pray with the family. But when he arrives, we see that Danny did not survive her injuries. So, everybody is in an uproar. They show Rbel. She's really sad about her friend. Then it comes to the next day. And on the next day, Denita is having like a staff meeting with her team, letting them know that she has been nominated for 12 Stellar Awards. Yes, 12 Stellar Awards. And at the Stellar Awards, they're going to honor her with a Lifetime Achievement Award. So she's really excited about that. Kind of mixed feelings because she's like, well, when somebody gives you the Lifetime Achievement Award, that kind of means that you're kind of exiting the scene, and she feels like she still has a lot to offer and she still wants to continue within the gospel music industry. It is very apparent, I can't remember if it's in this conversation or another, but it's very apparent that the church is really suffering financially. And the record label is what's keeping the church afloat. So she wants to find ways to make money through her music so that she can fund the ministry of the church. It's really interesting because I do think that some people do that, and they have other endeavors in order to help them fund the church. And it seems like a worthwhile mission, but then some of her actions on the other end doesn't look like she has a true, pure heart within the movie. Because we know Yolanda Adams, I believe she has a pure heart, but her character, Denita, may not have the purest heart in her motives and actions as to what she's doing. But not sure, that's just kind of what it looks like from the surface, but we know that happens. Some people are in the gospel industry and they are there to make the money or get the fame or whatever, and they don't have the purest heart, which I think that we need to be careful. We need to be careful who we support, who we listen to, and that they are sold out for Christ. And I think that sometimes they can be in the beginning, but then fame and money make it to them and it may sway them in a different direction. So that could be Denita's story. I am not totally sure. We then see Caesar, who is the producer and lead of Redeeming Records. And he finds out that Denita got 12 nominations and he got 1 nomination. And she got her nominations from her first album, One Moment from Glory, which Caesar is now saying that he produced the album and that he wrote half of the songs, but somehow Denita erased his name from all of that. And in the last 30 years, he has not gotten credit for it. So he's talking to the producer of the Stellar Awards. That person is on the phone, but he's just saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to mind my own business. And that is between you and Denita. So that kind of ends that conversation. We then learn that Ron has told Denita that they're going to give her a tribute. Ron is the producer of the Stellar Awards. They're going to give her a tribute. And Tosh, who is her son and the A&R of the company, he says that they need something fresh, they need something young, they need something exciting, something different. However, she wants to stick to what they know, and she doesn't want any surprises. So whatever's going to happen, she wants to know what's going to happen during this Stellar Lifetime Achievement tribute so that she can kind of co-sign on it. But she kind of like downgrades his ideas and lets him know that I hired you, I can fire you, you're only in power because I put you there, so I can now take you out. And I think that he knows that he has limited power when it comes to his mom and her career. Calvin then shares with Denita that the parents have asked him to do a memorial for Danny. And Denita is not trying to hear that at all. She just looks at her as that stripper, which personally, I think that is so sad. I'm sure some people in the church do look at people like that, but that is one of your church members' daughter, and she just passed away. And I feel like even if you don't like the lifestyle that the person lived, you need to support the member of your church. Danny, when she was talking to Rbel, she let us know that her parents give generously to this church. So they probably give their tithes and offering. I don't know what kind of money they have, but a lot of people who are not in church, they don't believe you should give your tithes and offering. So they may see it as a lot, but still, these are church members. Their daughter just passed away and they want you to do a memorial for her. I don't see the problem, but Denita has a big problem with it. But Calvin lets her know, look, I'm just letting you know what's going to happen. I'm not asking for your permission to do this, to give a memorial tribute. And honestly, I think that even as a church family, even if the girl was a stripper, we should go and support that family. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I do think that in the Christian realm, some people do have a problem with that. Well, they weren't this or they weren't in the church. But I think that you should support your church member. And, you don't have to like the lifestyle. My mom used to always say, love the person, hate the sin. Love the person, hate the sin. So it is not about what Dani did or did not do. She still deserves love, and her family is going to grieve over her. So they, as a church family, they need to support it. And you do too. So if there's a situation that you're going through, support the family. Support the family. Support the family members. Love the person, hate the sin. We then see Rbel talking to a counselor who she met in juvenile hall, and we find out that that is where Dani and Rbel met. They met while they were in juvenile hall, but Rbel lets us know that Dani had turned over a new leaf. She wasn't doing drugs or anything like that. And she is talking to her about going to the memorial service because she says she doesn't plan to go, because when her mom passed away, the church people talked about her mom really bad, and then they discarded her and didn't really support her in that endeavor. So it really appears that she's had a lot of church hurt, which a lot of people in the church, they have had church hurt. And if you're one of those people, it's, don't blame it on the church, blame it on the people, because we are all sinners saved by grace. If you've experienced church hurt, then find another church, because it's not the church, it's the people. And some people are just mean. Even if they're Christians, they can be mean or nasty or not have the right perspective or be hurtful. So if you have experienced church hurt, do not give up on the church. Move till you find a loving church. I personally, I don't know if I've experienced it, but I haven't paid attention to church hurt, because I love the church and I love its people, and I feel very bonded to the people of God. Like automatically, that is like my safe haven when I find out somebody's a Christian or when I join the church. I really feel like we are a family of believers. So yes, find you a church where there is some nice, great, loving Christian people who are going to support you and just embrace you wherever you are in life. We then see the memorial, and Dani does come, and Calvin did give the memorial service, and in it he asked if anybody wants to say anything, give a tribute to Dani, share some memories, and it is like crickets. It is so quiet in there. Nobody is saying anything. So he keeps encouraging, I'm sure her parents would love to hear you share if you have anything. So Dani finally gets up. Instead, she sings a song, a really, really beautiful song, which I think speaks to the moment that they were in. I could really picture the scene. I love when I'm watching something and it doesn't look like they're acting, and I look like I'm just looking in somebody's living room or wherever they are. And this is what it feels like to me for all of the actors. They can really act, but I really put myself in the seat of Rbel as well as the parents, and I felt like this song spoke to the moment. So I can't sing, so I'm going to say the words instead of singing. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody help me? Can somebody feel the pain I'm going through? Eyes are red from crying. My world is slowly dying. Standing lost, not knowing what to do. Can somebody explain the purpose for the pain? When is my praying done? Tell me when it's overcome. I'll give it one last try. Savior, can you save me? See my faith, I let it go. Change me and make me better than I was before. I don't mean to break your heart. Jesus, I apologize. He covered up my mind so I didn't realize that love was there all the time. It was love, love, love. Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody that can help me? Does anyone feel this pain that I am going through? And I think that the loss of a child is the greatest pain that a parent can ever experience, because we just do not count on that happening. And I just felt like the song just really spoke to where little Rbel was. She was there hurting, painting. Can anybody help her? But God is love, and his love is there. And I could see this as well for the parents. So I thought it was a perfect song. I hope they publish it, because I think that it can be definitely a great ministry for the church and the people of God who are hurting. But I love when music just touches you right where you are. And I thought in this scene, it did just that. It touched them exactly where they were. As soon as Rbel finished singing the song, she disappears like lightning. But of course, you know, in today's age and time, somebody had a video. So somebody recorded the video of her singing the song at the memorial. And the next thing we see is Larry Reed spilling that gospel tea. So he lets us know that this has gone viral. It has 2 million hits in a 48-hour period, and nobody knows who this girl is. So Taj goes to his mom, Denita, and says that he has heard God has spoke to him. This girl has a gift. She needs to be heard. And he is going to sign her to Kingdom Records. And of course, you know, Denita said, we ain't having that. I put you in this power, and I can take the power away from you, and we're not signing that stripper. So he's like, okay. So he then goes to Redeeming Records, which is kind of the competition, but his thing is that I really felt this calling from God. This girl needs to be discovered, and if my mom won't help her, then I think that you should. And he's talking to Caesar. Now, Caesar is kind of like, if you find a girl, you bring her to my office, and then I will help her. And Taj is trying to be like, hey, I just gave you a nugget, you go find her. But, you know, I'm already going to get in trouble if my mom finds out I've been here. But Caesar says, bring her to my office. If it's really from God, then, you know, you'll be able to deal with your mom. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Taj going to the competition to give him a nugget that his mom rejected? Like, is that betrayal? Should have done that? And he says that he really feels like the call of God, like God, he really heard a voice from God telling him that this is what he needs to do. This girl has a gift, and she needs to be redeemed. But mind you, he still doesn't even know her name. He doesn't even know who she is. But what do you guys think in the comments? Do you think that he should have made that move? Or you think he should have been loyal to his mom and just went on about his business, prayed about it a little more, see what the Lord would have gave him at their own record company? What do you think Taj should have done when he says that this was a calling from the Lord? All right, next we see him on the search for Rbel. So he goes to Danny's parents, which they don't show us, but they lead him to the strip club where she works. So he comes in, flashing a picture. He finds her. She looks totally different. She has the cutest little hairstyles. She looks totally different than she did on the day that she sang this song. So he is actually standing in front of her and says, is this you? Like, I don't even know, because you look totally different. And she says, look, $100, 10 minutes, $100. So she's gonna take him in this back room, give him this lap dance for $100 while he tries to talk her into leaving her job and coming to the music industry. Of course, that does not go very well, but it's a really funny kind of scene because she is doing her thing all up in his face and he is really trying to resist it. And once he kind of pushes her away and was like, you know, can you listen to me talk? So it's a very interesting scene. She ends up getting him kicked out because he did push her and he throws his card. But what he says that, in my opinion, got her attention, that as he leaves out, he says, I can help you make a lot of money. So I think that that's kind of like what sticks in her mind, is that he can make her a lot of money. Once he leaves, the next thing that we see is Rbel goes and she cleans out Danny's locker at the strip club. And she's cleaning out a locker. It looks like she kind of guessed her code just because they're really good friends. So She kind of guessed her locker code. She's cleaning out the locker and she finds a USB drive. So she just kind of tucks that in her stuff, cleans out the locker, and then moves on. There is a really interesting conversation that happens between Essence and Taj. So Essence is Taj's girlfriend, and she is kind of like a pop star. So Taj is telling her about Rbel and how he thinks she would make a great singer and how dynamic she was and about the video. And Essence makes a statement that since his mom may not allow him to bring her on, that he should actually produce her. But he tells her that Kingdom Records is basically his birthright, and that is his inheritance. So what do you guys think about that? Personally, I love family businesses. I love when family can work together. I think it's great. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think that we should leave an inheritance for our kids? And do you think our businesses are our inheritance to our kids? And do you have children? Do they want to work in your business and do what you do? But I thought that that was a really profound statement. I think that sometimes in our culture, sometimes it's kind of difficult for families to work together, but when they do, I just love it. So I thought that that was a really good tidbit that they threw in there. And also in terms of producing her, he was like, well, you're not a gospel singer, and kind of like insinuating that she couldn't sing gospel because she was not in the gospel community. I took it as if she was not saved or she did not know the Lord. So kind of like, why is she going to sing gospel? So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that people should sing gospel if they're not really sold out for Christ or different things like that? So what is your opinion about when people are not Christians or they don't really ascribe to the faith and they sing gospel music? And I guess ascribe to the faith, some of us are shallow, some of us are deep. Well, I guess it's different levels to that as well. But what is your opinion? Let me know in the comment section below. We then see Calvin and Denita again. They are talking about finances and the church and how she really needs to produce a song in order to help the church. And his thing is he'll take up a second offering. Y'all know those second offerings, because he really sees the record company as a ministry that the church can support, and maybe they can get the money that way. She then walks into her office and finds a random song in her office, kind of laying on the piano. So she takes it, and Taj comes in and they rearrange this song. The song is called Remember the Me You See. So it's talking about somebody who is unseen, but they want God to remember the me that they see, or they want God to kind of see them. So that's very interesting. Again, I think that the music talks about the things that are going to happen in the show. So they kind of rearrange it. They make it a little different than what it was first captured. And then Denita encourages him to sing it with her on her next album, that would be like the something different that he was looking for. And he agrees that he will support her in that way. And this song can be played as a duet. And then we get to the very last dramatic scene for the evening. Rbel finally looks at the USB that she found in Danny's locker. Now, prior to this, one of Danny's friends, who is also works at the nightclub, lets Rbel know that she believes that Danny was into private parties, where she would do private parties at the side, and they would have high clientele who need to protect their personalities, high-powered men that they entertain who may need to protect their identity. So on the tape, you see Danny in some type of hotel room. I don't know if it's a hotel, but in a room. I don't know if it's a hotel room or not. But she turns on the tape and she gets in the bed. And then we see an African-American male come and get in the bed with her. They do what they do. And I was like looking too, and I ain't really like this, but it's a dramatic moment in the movie. So you like, oh my God, like, I don't really want to watch a sex tape, but this I have to watch it, because you're thinking the girl died. So what is on this tape? This USB was just sitting in the locker. Like I'm listening intently. I know that it's so sad, but I'm listening intently. Like, are they going to say something? Or are they going to have little nuggets? Or what is getting ready to happen? But when the person walks in, you can't really tell. You can tell it's an African-American man. He's a little bald-headed, that. But when he gets up, we can tell that it is the pastor. Calvin Jordan, I think is their last name. So it is the pastor who has just slept with this girl and she taped it. Now, the thing is that Denita had already asked him, is there a scandal to be found? And he assured us that there was no scandal. And that is how the episode ends. So at this moment, I'm pretty much sold, because it's like, what is going to happen next? So with that, this ends our recap and our review of Kingdom Business Season 1, Episode 1. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think from a Christian perspective. Did you see something, or did you notice something in the episode that I didn't see? Let's talk about it. I think it is a great conversation for us to have just in our Christian community, to talk about things that go on in the church. I do know pastors who have not acted according to God's will in their discretion of what they do, and they preach the word from the pulpit. Now, mind you, I think that if you go to a church and your pastor is not really sold out for Christ, then you should possibly find you another church. But I did sit under a leadership where that was happening. I was a child. I not had no choice about where I went. And long story, that is story time for another time. But I do believe that my pastor was having some indiscretions while he was preaching in the pulpit. And I don't think nobody said anything or sat him down. But I don't know for sure, because I was a kid. So I want to make that disclaimer. I was a kid, so I don't know for sure. So let me just stop talking about it. But I do believe that some pastors are not practicing what they preach. So what do we think about Episode 1, Kingdom Business? Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.